John Fitch, the inventor of the steamboat. When John was young, he decided no more farm life. He didn't want to work on the family farm anymore. He was like, I need to become an apprentice. In these days, when you were between the age of like 8 and 13, if you didn't want to work on the farm, you could become an apprentice with a craftsman. And there were various trades. You could become a cooper, you could become a smith, you could become a watchmaker, a cobbler. There were other things you could do. Usually, an apprenticeship was for 7 years. John apprenticed with a watchmaker and silversmith. But according to John, this silversmith taught him the bare minimum. He didn't want competition. And most of his time during his apprenticeship, he was actually stuck farming, which was the last thing he wanted to do. But he learned enough to be able to become a skilled craftsman of his own. He eventually opened his own silver shop in Trenton, New Jersey. And it was a successful shop. But John Fitch had a problem, and this problem was the British and the American Revolutionary War. John Fitch's Revolutionary War service didn't exactly end well. During the Battle of Trenton, he ran away. And now he's all nervous and scared that he's going to get in trouble for being a deserter and that, he'll get tried for treason. And that's not really how it was. It was just they got overwhelmed by the British and a whole bunch of people took off. And John had hid a whole bunch of silver and stuff from his shop before the British came to Trenton. And, after the battle and everything, he went to see where his treasure was. And his treasure was gone. He had buried it at night using a lantern, and somebody had almost immediately dug it back up. So now he's pretty much broke. And his shop has been destroyed by the British. What's he going to do? Well, he comes up with an idea. Somebody told him that the troops at Valley Forge really needed tobacco. And he's like, all right, I'm going to use the little bit of money I do have and buy some tobacco. And I'm going to go to Valley Forge and see if they'll forgive me for running away. And, I'll provide for a need and it'll be all right. And he gets there and the guys already have tobacco. And he's like, okay, great. Well, now what am I going to do with all this tobacco? Well, he still had some tools. And so he's like, well, they don't have cigars. And so John Fitch makes a whole bunch of cigars. He also has some whiskey and things of that nature. And the Americans forgive him. And they kind of let him stay on as an armorer. And, he sells all of his cigars and everything. And he makes his money back. And so he's doing all right. Now, John had a number of schemes. And he picked up a lot of skills along the way. He picked up some cooper skills. He picked up some surveying skills. And he married a girl named Lucy and had a baby. And when Lucy was about 3 months pregnant, he left her because she was a nag.